Live from the Richmond Raceway, welcome race fans, one and all, to the tail end of our action track triple header. Welcome to round number 6 of the Highline Diecast Collectibles Speed Cup Series and to Green Flag TV. My name is Olamemple alongside Scott Rank, and we bring you all of racing action from start to finish here on this beautiful Thursday night. Scott, once again, it is round number 6 as this championship continues to pick up in earnest, and well, with this 6th race, we're going to be getting ourselves in towards the meat of the season, about halfway through the regular series season. And, wow, that championship is still closer than ever.
There it is. Yeah, it helps when you unmute the microphone. But yeah, look, last week was an interesting race from Watkins Glen. For a number of drivers in the field, it would have been about survival. It would have been about making sure that they got as deep into that race as they possibly could. If they couldn't finish it, put points on the table. Well, move to Richmond. And the thing about Richmond is it's more of the same. Just the benefit is it's on the oval, so it's a little bit easier than the old road courses to keep it going. But then again, if you're a Shane Van Gisbergen fan, maybe you want to go back to Watkins Glen.
Well, take a look at the point standings entering race in action here this afternoon. Rookie Ronnie Norman right now stands atop the boards with Nazi Major hot on his heels, only 6 points behind. Justin Melado still within striking distance of the front runners as well. Then a pretty significant jump back to Jeremiah Vincent, and just like at the Glen, that fight from 4th back to 10th still remains an extremely close quarters dogfight. But looks like this championship might be one that the rookies will find themselves fighting for by season's end.
That's the big thing, is that you've seen some new names jump into the season and new names jump straight to the top of that points, which is just, it's unheard of. You know, you don't do that. So for Ronnie Norman, phenomenal to see him jumping up to the top of the point and getting his way up. But now we get into all of the important bits and pieces of the season. This is where it starts to be challenging for just about each and every one of them, because you get into the basically the meat in the sandwich. This is where all your good points finishes need to start to come together. Can Ronnie Norman continue to be consistent? This will be the big key.
Plenty to talk about tonight. We'll get to that once we thank some of the guys to keep the lights on here for the Speed Cup Series. This race and every race this season is brought to you by Highline Diecast Collectibles, your go-to source for high-quality NASCAR diecast and memorabilia. Whether you're hunting for the latest releases, rare finds, or looking to sell your own collection, they've got you covered. Plus, don't miss their live auctions every week on Facebook, where you can score incredible deals on must-have collectibles. Check them out and follow along at facebook.com/HLD Collectibles. Where passion for racing meets collectible perfection. And, of course, by Ryan Newman and Associates, powered by Remax Select. And Ryan Newman and Associates, powered by Remax Select, they believe that finding your dream home should be an exciting and seamless experience. Serving all of Michigan, their dedicated team brings years of expertise and commitment to personalized professional service that makes buying or selling a home simple and stress-free. Whether you're a first-time buyer, seasoned investor, or looking anywhere in the United States, they can help you by referring you to top professionals across the country. Trust Ryan Newman and Associates to guide you every step of the way. Your future starts there. Go make it a reality. Well, the warm-up session is currently underway, and we'll get to your starting grid in just a few moments, but you really talk about how tricky this track's going to be tonight, right? It's a pretty hot surface out there. You got, a cold surface out there, right? Only 80 degrees Fahrenheit down on the racetrack. Very, very slick, though. I feel like cautions might be in abundance this afternoon.
Yeah, Richmond's got one of those lower grip surfaces. Don't forget, this is also the rescan. This will be the first time we've actually both been here. I'm actually doing some racing in the truck here in the last week or so, and again, it's still that slick surface, particularly as you rotate off of 1 and 2. Trying to keep the car underneath you in balance as you get back to the power and build that throttle percentage is the tricky part. Same down here off of 3 and 4. We're sort of looking towards the start-finish line as well off of there. The banking, you can cut low if, you know, perhaps there's a couple different lines that you can sort of take into 3 and 4. Remember, there's a mid-entry, rotate it low, stay low down the front straighter to try and set up a pass as you try and get the nose underneath people to 1 and 2. Regardless what you're doing, it does not matter. It is a low grip surface, which means it's all about manipulating the throttle, manipulating the steering wheel. We like low grip surfaces because they're a challenging surface to drive. And the biggest thing about low grip surfaces as well, you can never really settle into a rhythm. The grip continues to change as the tire wears and goes away from you. And that is where the drivers come into play, and that is what creates good racing.
We'll take a rundown of who's going to be starting where in racing action here this afternoon as qualifying has drawn to a close. It is Eric Hudson starting on pole position here this afternoon for the Dave's Hot Chicken number 11. Hudson making his first ever start in the HLDC Speed Cup Series, and what a good run for him to start his race from pole position. Ethan Amber will start beside him on the front row. Row 2 is the Tiltify Camry of Cosmo Inojo alongside the DDR machine of Kyle Holden. From there, row number 3, you got the Mobile 1 Toyota Camry of Matt Montembeau out of Canada alongside Vincent Motorsports driver Ryan Shelton. Row 4, it's going to be Philip Scott with the Obstacle Factory 00 alongside Nicholas Cote of the Invicta Toyota Camry. And rounding out the top 10, it's going to be Steph Gibson in the Sim HQ number 47 Chevy Camaro, quarter second off the pace alongside the Majors Garage number 82 of Minazzi Major.
Outside of here, we get back to Stan Hausman in the Twisted Beer Motorsports number 38. Alongside of him is Zach Hinson in the Hendry Motorsport number 58. On the 7th row of the field, Joey Barrett in the Vincent Motorsports 97 with bow ties on the sponsor. And Liquid Metal number 2 for TJ Buck alongside. Out of row number 8, 15th spot on the grid, we're going to see Jose Vincent and another one, the Vincent Motorsports Chevrolet cars, also brought to you by AC Delco. Garrett Austin, always loved this Limp Biscuit car for the Gold Ultra Motorsport crew off of 16th spot. 17th and 18th, we're going to roll our way back to Caleb Bass in the 478 machine for Super Eagle, and Wesley Dunphy in the 56 Jegs.com machine. Final row inside of your top 20, Arabia Caton the 3rd, Highline Motorsports Ghost Machine in the 30, and the WTFMT Dinghy Lifts 19 of Scott Leonard.
21st place, it's going to be Terrell Wheeler, the LGR Motorsports machine for the Unlucky Cold Snacks number 43W. He'll start alongside Stacy Hunter for the Denton County Carpet Cleaning number 714 Mustang down in the 22nd. 23rd place, it's going to be the likes here of Wayne Newman of the Magnum XL number 80 alongside Charles Simmer, the Vincent Motorsports number 42, rolls off in 24th. 25th place, it's the Hooters number 8 of Jeremiah Vincent. He starts alongside the Lincoln Park from 0, number 53 of Justin Mello for FTF Racing. Row number 14, it's Martin Pluto alongside Corey Hutchinson. And then closing out the top 30, you're going to have the likes of Ronnie Norman, current points leader, entering tonight, although he did not qualify for this race. Same story for Jeffrey Johnson Jr., the New Edge Simulation number 33. He'll roll off in 30th.
A couple stories of those guys not setting lap times here tonight. Mark McFadden, he's going to be coming out of the 31st spot in the number 22 entry for him. Number 6 of Doug Milliner will be lining up alongside. Out of 33rd and 34th, Jason Shue in the number 3 Good Ranch entry, and Nate Cotilla in the number 5 Ghost Motorsports Machine. Out of 35th and 36th will be Tim Branson's Hilly Billy Motorsports 92, and Jeffrey Reed in the 65 machine to bring us to the back row of the grid. And weirdly, Nolan, that is about 8 cars that failed to set a time tonight. That is a lot. Richmond is tricky. Richmond is difficult, particularly these cars don't deal with those lower tire pressures all that well either. So I have a feeling there were a few mistakes in qualifying trim. Normally the truck and the Xfinity car with those bigger, thicker sidewalls on those tires are a little bit more responsive, a little bit more conducive to that. Narrow sidewalls, the car just snaps. The window of grip is a little bit smaller.
Well, before we get going for Green Flag Racing, of course, tonight's race, the Aggasiz Speedway Volunteers 140. Aggasiz Speedway, a non-profit racetrack over in British Columbia, Canada, one that Mark McFadden races at with a dwarf car in real-world competition with the Northwest Sprint Car Tour. Of course, he wanted to thank all volunteers that helped to keep that place running. Specifically, thank you all track personnel, including flagmen, corner workers, concession workers, ticket sellers, and everyone else that contributes their time to help race days run smoothly and give Mark McFadden and many others a place to go racing over on Saturday nights. So Mark McFadden running the Aggasiz Speedway colors on his job on Motorsports number 22. We roll down the back straightaway, and Scott, we're ready for a good one.
Keep your eyes on this initial launch. This is tricky. You're going to see a lot of spinning tires. I'm going to say we're going to get ourselves a very early caution because it's quite common here at Richmond. There's going to be a lot of caution laps tonight. Get ready for that. Short track racing, and it's short track low grip racing. You don't get that many places.
Well, the field going to work their way to turn number 3 and 4. We're happy you're joining us for racing action here on Thursday night. It's time to go for the action track as the field gets away into turn number 1.
Yeah, really good start. Everyone's starting to find their way out. 3 wide in the middle of the field as well. That is a risk. But a little bit more banking than I think we were here last as well. At least it feels that way in the sim. It feels like that banking's just got a little bit more to it. One of the big things I noticed as well was actually the increased amount of markings and little imperfections in the road surface, which was so cool to see when they did the rescan on this place.
Crossman Inoshu quickly going to take away the lead of the race here on lap number 2. And trouble back straightaway hard into the inside wall. A vicious lick for Dunphy into the inside fence for the Jags number 56 Camaro, and the caution is out early on this afternoon. Martin Plout has spun around in turn 4 as well.
There was a very audible sigh come out of the 81 car as well on the lean race comms. There was no follow-up, just a sigh. That tells you more than if he actually said anything, to be fair.
Yeah, it often does, doesn't it? As the 56 is going to be done for the night. He was already way wide in turn 1 and just going to get loose, catch the outside wall, and that stacks him up into the field behind. And then you see Arabia Caton getting turned by Stacey Hunter and just barely nicks the 56. And you know he's going to be thinking about that, right? Because if he hadn't caught the wall, he would have been clear of that.
Was that Martin Plout that just shot through the lower side of that shot as well? I think they got into it. Was it McFadden that also got the wall off turn 2? There was another car in behind. So who's that car, that black car just in the background?
It's the Magnum car. Not sure who that is. It's the number 80 machine that spun around, and there you see Plout going for his spin down to the inside line.
It was Wayne Newman, was the 80 car.
Tough break. It's a hard hit into the inside wall, right? That's one of the worst places to impact at this racetrack. One of the highest speed areas to hit at a wall that's off ankle, and we've seen it bite quite a few drivers before. Tony Stewart, Jeff Gordon, two very notable ones for the 2010s. Jeremiah Vincent just slips through.
You can just see how difficult it is to dodge a wreck. It's easier than Bristol. There's a lot more racetrack to use, but the big thing is that those barriers on the inside are right up against the inside surface of the racetrack. They've sort of basically what they've done with this track is taken every available bit of surface and put it to use as racetrack. There is very little apron either side of the racetrack, which means that when you do get into a wreck, you've already used all the available space. There's no room for error. It's, I guess, probably one of the best ways to put it is probably the street circuits of ovals.
Welcome on board to the folks joining in from the Average Joe Sim Racing League, as that show has just wrapped up a few moments ago. A triple header here at the action track, right? You have PSR last night and then AJSRL and Speed Cup Series tonight. So Richmond Raceway, a very popular racetrack all of a sudden, and I have a feeling it's not going to be so popular after these 48 hours.
I was literally about to say, yeah, I don't know about how popular it is out there right now. For those of them that are stacked up in the middle and the back of the field, like, it is, you know, it's survival for the first half of that race. Sten Hausman, one of his best qualifying performances thus far this season. You know, he doesn't want to lose spots because he's in a good spot. I think he slid back to 12th, so he's lost one spot from where he started. On the outside of that 6th row. So a little bit of work for him to do, but he just needs to get back to the bottom. Just find a way back in, I think, is probably one of the biggest things. If we can get single file, then settle in for the racing.
We fly back into the air as Cosmo Inoshu takes us back to the green flag here, headed down towards now turn number 1 as Ethan Amberg going to drop back as Eric Hudson wants to make a run back for the top spot. He's going to punch his way around Ethan Amber. Amber, though, quickly with the crossover, trying to get back down to the inside in the turn 3.
You can hold it on the outside lane. You can defend from the top. It's one of the few short tracks you can really do that. But you've got to be quite succinct with getting it done. Cover that runoff very, very quickly. Make sure you build the runoff. But it's right here down in 1 and 2 where a car can get loose. And the other thing is, as you get out of the groove, as you exit 2 of the high line, it's actually not too bad through the center and the early and mid parts of the corner, but it's the exit. All of a sudden the grip goes away on the exit. So you sort of got to think about that plan for the corner, and that exit of turn 2 narrows up. That wall juts out. It's nearly like the wall actually cuts down the racetrack and narrows it off at the exit of 2.
Amber takes the fastest lap of the race. He's trying to run down the Tiltify Camry up in number 1. We'll work our way over to lap number 10 of racing action here this afternoon. Mostly single file throughout the front runners. Stan Hausman back here, though. You talk about him dropping spots. He is continuing to slide backwards. He is now trying to hang on to 14th place, but Josiah Vince is going to get around him on the outside.
Well, he did well in qualifying, so he's probably looking at that result and going, well, they qualified a little bit further up the field than necessarily my pace would dictate, or at least my average pace and average finishes would dictate. It was, I think it might have been Ronnie Norman or Caleb Bass. It was Caleb Bass, I think, on the outside that got the fence off of turn 3 and 4. So he's now just trying to find a rhythm. But the big thing is thinking about the guys that are up the front, as Ronnie Norman goes ahead and sets the fastest lap of the race. But have a look at the guys that are up the front at the moment. I think Iron Oshu had a really, really quick fire off. He got a great restart. The next thing that I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about, and he would be thinking about as well, is looking after his tires. He got a pretty big margin initially. And what I'm doing generally in that case is I'm going, right, well, I'm out here at a 7/10 lead. I'm going to back the pace down a little bit, look after my tires. Why? Does not matter how much you win this race by. You need to win this race by 1/1000th of a second. As the car goes around at the tail end of the field. Anything more than that is bonus. And we're going to have restarts all night long here. And that says to me, I want to stay out as long as I can.
Charles Simmers, number 42, is the one that brings out our second caution of the race here on lap 13. And he is, I believe, in black flag for the incident. For that one, never mind, check that. Nope, that was for a restart violation that he got cleared pretty quickly. No doubt argued his case to race control on that one. So let's take a look, find out what happened to the driver number 42.
Gonna look weird because what he said straight away was I had a screen freeze, screen go black on me, so this is a hardware issue. So he's going, oops, I can't see what's going on. I have no idea what's going on.
Oh.
I hope I don't touch anyone. Yeah, he has no idea what's going on his screen at the moment. So at that point in time, all he's got is no visual signals. All he's got is feedback from the steering wheel.
Kind of caught Jeremiah Vincent quite significantly into the outside wall. If I'm Jeremiah Vincent, I'd be a little bit worried about damage on both sides of the car, right? It kind of shoved him pretty hard directly into the wall, and I think that is why we now see Vincent into pit road getting some damage repaired.
Yeah, you know, keep building towards that long run for Vincent. He'll go to the back and he'll either go to work. I mean, you will. When you get moved to the back end of the field, you go to work. But at the same time, being a little bit calmer on the way that you go to work. You just want to be patient, let the opportunities come to you. Jason Shu had issues early on. He's now back onto the lead lap. He just picked up the lucky dog. So he's the only car running that was one or more laps down. And he's now back on the lead lap. So
Jeremiah Vincent just leaving pit road. He has lost the lap, but he will not lose more. So he will now be in lucky dog position if he's able to get back out there on the racetrack. Wayne Newman is still stationary in pit road and might be looking to might be looking to stay there for an extended period of time.
If you're going to go laps down, do it now. Is the big thing, because you've got a long period of time. The big thing for me is go to one lap down. Grab the lucky dog, go to one lap down, grab the lucky dog. If you have damage, basically every caution, this seems like a frustrating strategy, and it is, because if there's multiple cars one lap down, it's an air quotes exploit, or at least it's an annoyance to those drivers that are trying to get back to their lap. But you stay on pit lane for one whole lap, effectively you nearly triple the amount of repairs that you can take compared to just trying to stay on the lead lap. So it depends on the race situation. Now that there is a few cars that are one lap down, you've got to compete to get your lap back. It's a little bit more tricky than that. It's not just as simple as going, go one lap down, and I immediately get my lap back because I'm the only one down there. But it is one of the leverages or the levers that drivers can pull to try and get more damage repaired, get their car back in tip-top shape.
Free fly back into the air. Ionoshu clearing down to the turn number, trying to clear down to the turn number 1. Eric Hudson will do so as well as he battles it out with Ethan Amberg for the second place spot. Matt Montembeau looking to file in line behind. He'll get into third. Shelton to hold him meanwhile. Back in 5th and 6th. They're going to get single filed out as well. Ryan Shelton looks like he might be trying to climb to the field.
Yeah, he's probably trying to grab some track position right now whilst he can, and then he'll go to work on saving some tires a little bit later on. He's up 2 spots thus far. If he can stay to the inside and complete the pass on Montembeau, that'll bring him from 6th to 4th. Montembeau's doing a great job though defending from the high line, so.
Around into turn numbers 1 and 2, you see the number 4 Josiah Vincent alongside Zach Hinson into the wall, big. Just behind was
Garrett Austin just got a shot. He's up the racetrack at the moment too, so something just happened to him.
It was Caleb Bass that got into the outside wall quite heavily there, coming all the way around. Well, we're going to fight our way through turn numbers 1 and 2 as Vincent holds on with Minazzi Major up top. And Garrett Austin wants to have a go here as well. And up the track again is Bass in 3 and 4.
Yeah, he's really struggling. I think that's the third or fourth time he's hit the wall. We've seen 2 of them. All right, there's more that I reckon we haven't seen from that car at the moment. So he is struggling in a big way. Absolutely the car on the move though is running Norman. He's plus 14 spots at the moment. He's moving his way through the field. Championship leader obviously didn't qualify all that well, so he had to cut his way back through the field without setting a qualifying time. Comes from the rear. Big implications for the championship leader.
Kaya Holden just behind them dives into turn numbers 3 and 4. Ryan Shelton able to pull clear up top, and he's going to cut back to the inside of Montembeau. Looking to go at it for the 4th place on the racetrack. Shelton with a beautiful over-under gets through on the 28. And immediately Montembeau's taken out by Kyle Holden, and they save it.
Just didn't recognize the closing speed. It is kicking off though. I mean, action track, right? It is all going to work. Colt was just about brushing the wall on the run down the front straight away.
They call it the action track for a reason. As we work in 3 and 4, the 28. Montembeau continues to hold clear of guys like Stephen Gibson, CJ Buck, Kyle Holden, and more. Just behind them, look who's climbing to the field. It's Zach Hinson, along with Ronnie Norman.
Really got to keep an eye on Ronnie Norman because he has been aggressive in cutting his way through the field. We're going to caution here. He'll probably be one of the drivers that'll be looking to pit. He's been using those tires up, trying to cut his way through the field.
There was Philip Scott trying to attack Montembeau into turn 1. It didn't quite work. You saw the absolutely immense drive that Montembeau had coming out of turn numbers 3 and 4, or 1 and 2 there down the back straightaway. Norman continuing to make the charge. He's now up 16 as he looks to break around Minazzi Major.
Yeah, these two are just being locked in a battle for a fair while. Minazzi Major's been stuck on that outside lane. Every time he tries to get back to the bottom, he just gets shuffled to the outside again. This is like the 4th or 5th time I've seen him on the high side of someone as he's trying to settle back into the line. So he needs to get back into his rhythm, find the groove. Right now, if he recognizes he's going to lose this spot to Ronnie Norman no matter what, which he likely is at this point in time, my advice to him would be let it go, let it happen, and find the window to drop in and get back to the bottom side of the racetrack. Because if you continue to fight this one out and you make a mistake, that mistake is worth a couple spots. Caution's going to come out.
And it is for Scott Lennon into the outside wall in turn 4, just shy of the start-finish line. He will get back rolling for Inosha to come back around and put him one lap down. So Scott Leonard brings out our third caution of the night, and this is how.
All reasonably put together. Touches the apron.
Yeah, got sucked in there too.
Around she goes. Yeah.
Nowhere.
Doing a great job though. Like he was running low. He's missed that by not very much. You got to be right down there and rolling as close to that apron as you possibly can. There's a great opportunity for some pit stops as well. We've had a reasonable green flag run here. Again, if I'm running Norman, I'm pitting here, and the reason I'm pitting is I've been cutting my way through traffic. I've been using those tires up to make my way forwards. Unfortunate for Hutchinson. Nowhere to go.
I tell you what, though, Hutchinson did a pretty good job on locking that car down, though, right, to mitigate that damage, because I'm not seeing any scuff marks on that number 21. I think he may have been able to get away with that.
Yeah, just a light little contact in the front. All of it stayed together. Jeremiah Vincent going to grab his lap back too here.
Not a lot of cars are down pit road like you thought there might be. In fact, everyone from 23rd on up has stayed out here this afternoon.
That's interesting to me because there's a few cars in that. Malello was starting to climb his way through the field, and he's come to pit lane, which is really interesting to see. So he was in around that 10th sort of spot area. He's going to come to pit lane and grab some tires. Look, the thing is, offset yourself. And the big thing for these guys is with the amount of fuel running that they've done, I do sit here and question whether or not there is, if we get, say, another 3 or 4 cautions, which is a good potential here at Richmond, can they get home from here? If that's the case, then you should be pitting under this one.
Tim Branson sent to the tail for a pit road infraction amidst of all of this, too.
Oh, unfortunate for him. But speeding on pit lane more than likely.
You know, I'm actually not too surprised that not everyone came down pit road. Because, I mean, yeah, we're on lap 30, right? But, you know, we're on our third caution. I mean, we're averaging 1 every 10 laps. So these tires are not going to be all that worn down. No,
but we did have a pretty reasonable green flag run right there. I think that was about 18 laps or so. So, like, if there was going to be a fairly long run, that would be it.
Well, the field's going to double them up, and we'll get set to go back to green flag racing here, this time by Cosman Inoshu. Set to lead this back. He has been in complete control every restart so far, and that is not looking to change anytime soon. Green flag is back in the air. Well, the field working their way up and around. Cosman Inoshu able to pull clear with the lead of the race, just behind Nicholas Coate and Matt Montembeau going side by side as they make their way down the back straight into turn number 3. Philip Scott as well as Stephen Gibson having a good run of things as well. Rodney Norman and Garrett Austin will look to go up and around him as well. So the field trying their darndest to put on a pretty good show here this afternoon. There you see Gibson trying to get to the inside, but Scott's going to block him, and now Scott locks up. Here goes Kyle Holden, making it 3 wide through turn numbers 3 and 4 down the front straightaway, and still Gibson hangs on. Holden and Scott now find themselves 2 by 2. Meanwhile, TJ Buck on the climb through the field after he started this race from 14th on the grid. Josiah Vincent just slipped through into 10th, and up front, Philip Scott trying to regain that lost ground from earlier tonight. battles his way into 8th and trying to go around the outside of Kyle Holden. He's got some momentum to work with him there, though, but he'll catch at the wall. Going to 4th to scrub of that speed. We got cars around. One car stopped, in fact, in turn 3, and the caution is out. So yellow flag slows us down again up in turn number 1 as Terrell Wheeler looks like he may have had it coming together with Jeffrey Johnson Jr. As we take a look back and see what happened, and he got hit from behind by Corey Hutchinson. Unfortunately, this time, Hutchinson can't use the I had nowhere to go excuse. Spins out the 43, and Johnson tried to lock it down and plowed into the back of Jeffrey Reed, who probably would have had that missed, and well, that is what brings out yellow flag number 4 here on the afternoon. Not even that hard of a hit. It almost looked like he didn't even really touch him all that much for Hutchinson. But he definitely did by just a little bit. Man, look at Doug Milliner managing to escape around the outside of that mess behind. Milliner making his Speed Cup Series return. He avoids the melee by jumping up to the top lane. And this yellow flag is going to bring a good chunk of drivers down pit road. Justin Mello is the first one to come down. He will pit from 9th. Jeremiah Vincent staying out. He will pick up 11th place as a result of this yellow flag, albeit now on 26 lap older tires. Mello and McFadden on 9-level tires respectively. And we're gone back. All come down to pit road for tires under this yellow flag. Same for Cotilla, Branson, and Jason Chu, who have all taken fuel only, Scott.
Yeah, so a good mix of the strategies now. I was thinking there's probably a window, and the reason that those guys that came down last caution is that they wanted to flip it a little bit and get down early. And the reason that you want to get down to pit lane early is because if you're the first one to make that final stop, you actually get track position. Now, normally there's a penalty to pay, and that penalty is tire condition. But guess what? We only ran a few short laps right there. So tire condition is not going to be a major thing. It will be a minor thing. It will be important. It will be relevant, but it will be minorly so. It is definitely a part of the race, but not as much here as it normally would be at some of the bigger tracks. So some issue with the pacing too means that we're going to extend the yellow here. So the big thing was we would have been tight on fuel on the last one. This one would be a lot less tight, but I would still expect we are short on fuel and they're relying on cautions. But yeah, a couple drivers making some jumps to pit lane right there. Iron Oshu, the guys that are up the front, they're not going to pit. The reason why they're not going to pit, they have the track position. They do not want to give up the track position. Problem for them. Now, when they do pit, they'll be going to the rear.
So, the pace car lights will go out this time by with less than 100 laps to go. Inoshu picks up the lead of the race. Eric Hudson has done his best, but he just has not been able to get back around the number 24 since losing that lead on the first lap back to green from our first yellow.
Yeah, that'll be the tricky thing. So, particularly trying to get organized at the back end of the field. The car's still on pit lane as well. They're still sorting themselves out at the back rear end of the field, by the way. Still some issues down there with ordering at the moment. I'm just keeping half an eye on. Looks like it might have finally resolved itself. So we'll be going green this time. Pace car will dive off in the pit lane. Here we go again, Nolan.
Inoshu jumps, green flag back in the air in the restart zone. 90-some laps still left on the boards here this afternoon, and one car did not get going. Mark McFadden sinking like a stone, middle of the field, as he's going to drop about 4 or 5 spots before they even get down to turn 1.
That might have been wrong gear selection. He might have spun tires. If he's on fresh tires, that'll be cold tires in the restart zone. Particularly at Richmond, it's a tricky place to try and get the power down. You really got to try and manage it.
So the battles will continue on throughout the course of the restart here. Justin Mello, Nazi Major looking to battle it out as Gibson and Vincent. Oh, behind! Kyle Holden sent spinning on the front straightaway. Cautions out again as he goes sliding into the infield.
Short run, breather, short run, breather. You're gonna see that here. It is tricky. Is it gonna be contact? Oh, there was a run coming from in behind him. Nope, just loses on acceleration. That's cold tires.
Yeah. Pretty lazy spin into the infield.
Did well.
He did. Gathers it up, keeps it going.
Is he got enough? Yeah, he's had enough for the day. Kyle might be done. Or was it tough? There might be something wrong. I would say there's something outside of the sim that's wrong there.
Yeah, probably.
Animal, kids. We heard Jeremiah Vincent, I think, a couple weeks back say, "Hey, my apologies. Somebody, a kid was pointing at things." Yep, Kyle's done for the day. He pulled over, he towed, he's done. He's gone.
Jeffrey Johnson Jr. takes the lucky dog free pass up high. Justin Mello commenting in the chat that he feels slow this week. To him, I respond, focus on driving the car. We've talked about this before, about people that have a tendency to text and drive. Shockingly, it doesn't tend to end well for them.
Ends even less well if you start calling Australians Kiwis.
Like you started someone?
I'm in. There are multiple. Every single time somebody has called me a Kiwi or messaged Kiwi fruit in the chat, they have felt the swift retribution of karma very quickly thereafter.
I'm still laughing at how long it took you to catch on to that. I'm not gonna lie. I was just waiting for it. I was waiting. I was like, how long is he gonna be before he figures this out?
Didn't get that with Kiwi fruit. I was just like, okay, it's weird that somebody put fruit in the chat, but hey, who am I to put a dampener on a little fruity action? I say this after I went out dressed in drag on Saturday night. Yeah, it was a drag trivia night nearby me, so we went out and I ended up dressing up for it. Had fun. Great night.
I have learned something new, information that I did not request or need to know about Scott Rankin.
It was followed by a Sunday trip to a V8 supercar race too. Hey, Martin has learned his lesson. He responded with a kangaroo this time.
Don't kangaroos live in New Zealand as well?
No, they do not. No,
they do not.
They actually don't.
Now I learned something new about geography. And look at me learning like it's high school. I hate you for that. I don't like high school. I don't like remembering it. Oh, hold on. Not going. They wait. They wait to start off. Ryan Sheldon's ready to go, and they waved that off late.
They did. Pace car already pulled off, and it was brought back out, so it will trundle down pit lane.
Interesting. What do you make of that one? Why would that have been called off?
There was something going on at the rear. I missed it. There was. I was looking at my track map when it got called again, and there was a whole bunch of cars out of order at the rear end of the field. So racing and texting again. Is he done for the day? We are back to green flag racing though. They did not wave this one off.
No, they did not. As Cosmo Inosha, Ryan Shelton, and Eric Hudson clearing for 1, 2, and 3. Coat just keeps it out of the back of the number 11 into turn number 3. Shy of 90 laps to go here now this afternoon. Ronnie Norman, we wanted to keep an eye on him. Look at the drive as now he gets up into 6th, and he still is not pitted for tires either. He's still running the same time. Started off, we got trouble, and a big pile up over on the bottom side of turn. There's no way that's not a caution, right? Surely.
That's not a caution. We are still rolling at the moment. No.
iRacing, what are you doing? Garrett, but we're going to throw him for a car that's not even fully spun around in the front straightaway. Okay, I see how it is.
Yeah. You know how iRacing be? Inconsistent. Oh, Martin Plute was also... By the way, Martin Plute texting and driving. Oh my god, it gets called immediately after they pass him. Something else? No?
No, I think they kind of realized what happened. I think, you know, guys like Inosha came around and they saw 4 cars all of a sudden going slow. It's like, there's no way that we caught them this quickly without there being something that happened. I think somebody called it out.
Yeah.
Well, the field
kicks it off.
Yes, sir. And just spins him around.
You know what? Maybe it wasn't the whole Kiwi Aussie thing. Maybe it was texting the driver.
Could be both. Why not both? Still kind of hard to tell from that angle what actually went down here to bring this out. Let's back that up a little bit more, and this time we'll go from the air. Oh, this would be a perfect shot coming down. Oh, TJ Buck just sent it. And then Plute, Barrett, all getting caught up, and so does Stacey Hunter, who had nowhere to go.
Great job, though. Great job for all of them getting down.
Oh my goodness, I would have been fuming if I was Stacey Hunter, and I managed to avoid the worst, only for someone to back up directly into my grill. Well, more cars in a pit road. Ryan Shelton, Nicholas Cote are in. Perhaps no surprise.
But gonna get some repairs. Garrett Austin's on there. Is a ton of cars on pit lane as a part of this one. So do wonder whether or not there was more cars that are down there grabbing repairs from stuff that has previously happened. Jason Shu's definitely one of those. He was not involved in that one, so he's grabbing repairs. Take it away. We got him sorted.
Yes, we
Coming
did.
Up in the halfway mark.
Nearing the halfway marker, still not quite there. Gonna once again thank some of the guys that keep the lights on here for us here at the Highline Diecast Collectible Speed Cup Series. This race brought to you by Twisted Steel Steak Appeal. Presented by Marty Plute. It has a solid punch, sweet, and a heat flavor that lingers to let you know is there. Marty Plute is an award-winning Steak Cook-Off Association chef that has finally revealed his secret recipe rub to blow you away with flavor. Steak, veggies, fish, pork, and poultry. Twisted Steel Steak Appeal is a rub above the rest. And by Beer Street Journal, one of the largest online collections of original content dedicated to covering beer culture, education, and the advancement of the beer industry. With thousands of articles, millions of unique visitors, and exposure in over 200 countries, Beer Street Journal is paving the way to enabling category growth, engaging a broader consumer base, and promoting better tasting beer for years to come. BeerStreetJournal.com, the best in beer. And of course, big thank you as well, once again, to Highline Diecast Collectibles. Check out their weekly auctions on Facebook. This coming Monday, it's the Buy It Now sale. First come, first served. And you go shop at facebook.com/HLD Collectibles.
We go for another restart though. 80 to go on the, this will be 81 to go on this restart.
Green flag is back in the air as the field comes up and around now. 3 wide, looking for it, diving into turn number 1. Ethan Amber down to the inside, trying to get on Justin Mello and Stephen Gibson. And Mello looks like he'll be shut out from the middle.
Oh, contact as well. Ronnie Norman just got in the back of Nick Cote. Both of them up there, hold bunch of spots. I think go time started a very, very early point in this one. Garrett Austin's actually cutting his way back through the field.
Well, we're gonna be most of single file up front as they're spreading out quite early on here, but it's all the rage for spots further down the field as once you get double file, it's hard to get back to single, and no sure is that in the mid pack here.
Wide coming off of 2. Ronnie Norman had such a great opening run to this race, and now he just, again, wrong lane once. Got in the back of Nicholas Cote, and now he's going running backwards. I just heard Terrell Wheeler shift, I think. I think they might be downshifting into turn 1 and 2.
Aggasiz Major also to the outside of TJ Buck, trying to fight his way into a top 10. Doug Milner and Zach Hinson are also trying to make moves as here we go. Corey Hutchinson just a little ways behind is trying to make something happen here. Meanwhile, Aggasiz Major and Hinson going to look to scrap it out. Down in the turn number 3 as Aggasiz Major trying to drive through to the front, and Milner back down to the bottom. Still not able to clear the Hendrick cars. Number 58 Lexus.
Trying to find your way in. And have a look at him trying to feed 3 wide as well. That's brave.
And no kidding, a very brave lunge indeed from Doug Milner as he tries to make something happen. Major still fighting this up top, not allowing him to get away easily. Further behind, you got this thick battle pack as well. Charles Simmer, Jeffrey Johnson Jr., Ryan Shelton, Tim Branson, and hey, here's Ronnie Norman. They're also looking to battle it out if they can get up to each other.
Tricky part for this race is trying to read it at the moment. The bit difficulty I'm having is you kind of got to keep your eyes everywhere. I don't have enough eyes, and I've injured my neck, so turning that neck constantly is starting to get painful.
One by one, cars continue to slip their way around the action track. Also, I know she's just starting lap number 70, about to be at the halfway mark. Nicholas Cote slow through turn numbers 3 and 4. Looking like Cote may have had an issue here coming through the final corner.
Just trying to find something to slot back in. I reckon he might have been trying to cut Ronnie Norman a break.
Oh, he got hit and into the wall.
Scott Leonard, but he's already been around tonight.
Big incident there for Nicholas Cote as he's going to push up to Ronnie Norman, Ryan Shelton, and Scott Leonard in the mix as well. Vincent trying to go at it now with Justin Melilo as they fight their way through turn numbers 1 and 2. Now out of turn 2 to the back straightaway, and here comes Gibson. Once again, trying to make tracks. He looks to the inside. Gibson, for all his attempts, it seems like he'll make one, drop one, doesn't he?
Issue, I think, for Tim Branson. I think Garrett Austin might have just got him. And Garrett said on the radio, I got tight. I'm very sorry.
Oh, man.
Oh. What are they doing that far up the racetrack?
Yeah. That looked like just a massive checkup all the way through.
But why are they so high up? You don't want that here at Richmond. You want to be middle to low at best. Like we said earlier, the big problem is when you're that high on the corners, particularly once you get to the middle of turn 2, you can't turn the race car. All grip goes away. All the grip's at the bottom off the exit of 2. So you're going to be either turning it down the racetrack at that point in time, and then the grip goes away from you. You're just going to drive it the best you possibly can. Or you've got to be at the bottom already. So those lines that they're using are not helping them. If the race car is a fraction tight, that line would make it worse, not better.
And all the different lines slowly coming into play as this track gets more and more rubbered in. Eric Hudson now having to battle with Ethan Amberg as they cruise through turn numbers 1 and 2. Back to the back straightaway. Philip Scott right behind them, looking to make some moves in there as well as he tries to now go up and around the outside line. But Scott not able to find his way to the podium.
There's a lot of different strategies that are playing their way out in this one. Cosmo Ionoshu, yet to pit, has led every lap of the day. He's cruising out in front. He's had the clean air. He is going to run out of gas. He will not make the end as far as we are aware. There's been a lot of caution laps tonight, but there's not been enough for him to make the finish line. Ethan Amberg, though, he is the first car who has pitted. He sits P2, doing a great job for him. Philip Scott also on that strategy. Hutton and Montembeau both on the same strategy as Cosmo Ionoshu, both yet to pit. And remember, Justin Malello pit at the end of lap 30. He came to the pit lane, was one of the first guys in the pit lane. Probably still needs to do some fuel saving, but he gained a lot of track position with that strategy. He sits currently an effective 3rd at the moment because he does not have to pit again.
Well, the number 11 of Eric Hudson going to go at it with Philip Scott as they swing into turn numbers 3 and 4. Scott and Hudson, they'll keep on the fight here, but it looks like Scott may have finally fought his way onto the podium this afternoon, and he finally gets clear. And right behind them, Doug Milner, TJ Buck, Stan Hausman, Vincent, and more. Still all of them under a blanket.
Tricky thing, and Phil Scott actually just jumped on the radio and said, sorry, I locked up. So using the brakes and using them aggressively tonight to try and pull the race car up. And when you exceed the limit of the grip, that might even be an opportunity for Phil Scott. He goes, all right, well, I locked him up. I got into Eric Hutton. Caution's actually going to come out right now, which would be an intriguing moment. I think it was cut down to the 20th spot. That will be that one right there, yeah. But that'll be an opportunity for Phil Scott to dial the brake bias back a fraction.
So Ryan Shelton brings out caution number about 6 or 7 here this afternoon. And this is how this one is brought about, as it's happening coming around through turn numbers 1 and 2.
Apron. Right out yellow line. Reminded everyone watching along at home, the yellow line is actually a lower grip surface. By the way, the whole field is pitting.
Ionoshu is in along with everybody else. And Ionoshu, he missed the stall. He had to reverse back an inch or 2 in. That could cost him the lead here.
It will. It will. Did you see the 14 car was off the jacks earlier on the right-hand side? It will cost him the lead. He didn't take left side tires. He took 2. Malello.
It still doesn't matter.
Malello took 2 as well. Both of those drivers took 2.
Good effort from Justin Mello. Loved the hustle there to get him back out onto the racetrack quickly. And Scott Lennon is sent to the rear.
Scott Lennon, is that his second? That's the second pit road infraction of the night. For someone else sped earlier, I think.
It was Tim Branson.
Thank you. It was 2.
Well, Justin Mello leads the way. We'll take ourselves a quick step back, and when we return, racing action continues here on Green Flag TV. Stay with us.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Green flag back in the air as we take off towards turn number 1. Justin Mello leading the way on the restart as he clears from Inoshu. Inoshu just chops the nose of Ethan Ambergen out wide. Caution, though, is out immediately.
I'm not seeing what it was for.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet it probably happened somewhere back in the field. A lot of cars have black flags. Terrell Wheeler, he stopped in the back straightaway.
Yeah, that'll trigger it for sure.
I think Wheeler had to go to the back. He was trying to let cars through, and they were waiting on others, so they just never got the order sorted.
Yeah.
All those black flags, by the way, have been cleared, and understandably so.
It's worthwhile pointing out and at least discussing it. So, worthwhile discussing. From the rear end of the field like that, the driver who basically, if you have a let somebody by, it is on you to try and figure that out as soon as possible. iRacing instructions will be telling you exactly what car you have to let by. The tricky thing is, it'll tell you one car number. Now that car number may be sitting at the back of the field, and he may be getting, what he will be seeing is past the 1 car, past the 2 car, past the 3 car, but he won't see past the 2 car until he's gotten past the number 1 car. So effectively, he won't know where he's supposed to go to in the order until he's got to pick them off one by one until he sort of gets the notification that says, stay behind the 4 car, effectively. So it's a little bit tricky in that sort of thing, but for me, it's always on the cars that have to let people by to try and sort that out. If I'm coming, as soon as I cross that 1 to green, I'm looking to get in that order as soon as possible. So if that means I gotta drop to the apron and I gotta run real slow to let cars by, I'm doing that because the guy that's gonna pass me, he doesn't get a penalty, I get a penalty. So it's on me to make sure that I prevent getting the penalty. The league admins have taken a good step. I think the right step has been taken to clear those penalties. I don't think they're warranted. I don't think they're just. And yeah, it's an interesting one from that perspective. But yeah, it's always on the driver that is going to get the penalty to prevent that.
Update from Justin Mello, by the way. He is still slow, so he says.
Well, based upon prior data analysis from the rest of the season, testing and driving does not improve that. So, as your driver coaches for the evening, don't do that.
He's doing it though. He just texted again.
He did?
He said the strat's bailing him out.
He's doubling down.
He's doubling down?
He's doubling down. Yeah.
I like how he says, I'm still slow while leading the race.
Yeah.
There's something rich about that. Scenarios also mentioned we should give him an interview. We don't need to interview him. He's interviewing himself in our text chat for us.
Another question that rolled in. Who's the best driver in V8 supercars? It's not SVG. Peter Brock. And no American driver will ever know that name, by the way.
No. Free fly back in the air as we run down to turn number 1. This time, Inoshu with a better launch up around the outside of Justin Mello, but Mello is still able to pull clear as they come around to the turn numbers 1 and 2. Fighting for the back straightaway. Inoshu looking for the inside, trying to dive from the bottom side, and that Delta-Fi Camry back through to the lead in turn 4.
He hasn't quite got it yet. Got the momentum on the front straightaway. He's going to try and get back to the bottom. and steal away, which is lucky. That should have been a lot deeper in the field for the 24 machine. He was looking to throw this one away tonight. Phil Scott just got a little bit loose as they get off a turn 2 as well. Eric Hutton's going to get to his inside. I think it was, no, it was, sorry, my apologies, it was Motno on Timbo. And he immediately makes a mistake.
Oh, no!
Overshoots it, oh!
And the rookie Eric Hudson goes around all by himself on the front straightaway. Caution is out again, and once again, he is dumped to the rear. What a shame for Eric Hudson. Started on pole in his Speed Cup Series debut. And now he's going to be having to watch this one from the tail of the field, and a long way to go for the rookie. This will be all by himself, too. Cold tires just spinning up the rears, trying to chase back third place. Around he goes.
Now, frustrating. Is it time for a check-in with our points leader, Ronnie Norman?
Why not? Let's check in with him.
Ronnie, it's Scott Nolan from the Flat Out Racing Network booth. Have you got us for a few moments here?
Yeah, I got you.
Mate, difficult night for you. No qualifying time set. You've been cutting your way through the field, though. We are now no pit stops to make it to the end of this race. So, what's the change in strategy now that you cracked that top 10? Is it still all lights out, all aggression all the time? Or are you trying to be a little bit more circumspect? Like, how's the race sort of ebbed and flowed?
Really. As you can see, it's pretty loose off the corners a lot, but unfortunately I had a little packet loss during qualifying, so that's why I wasn't able to put a lap in. Yeah, I wasn't happy about it, but luckily we made it up here to the top 10, so just mind my P's and Q's, stay out of wrecks, and hopefully we can get a top 5 out of this thing. If not a win, who knows?
In terms of speed, at the moment, sitting 10th place on the racetrack, are you capable, do you feel, of pushing your way further forward? Or, you know, you said top 5 is what you're hoping for. Do you think you're capable of getting to the front here?
We're going to find out. I don't know if... I didn't want to pit that last time, but I knew I needed to go in and try to stay on at least the same strategy as some of the leaders. But, I mean, I feel like I can get up there. It's just the fact of making it happen and then making the right moves at the right time. So I want to say yeah, but you just never know.
Most importantly, that's a league admin right ahead of you. Just don't use the bumper on him. That's probably the best advice I got for you.
Yeah, I know. It's always fun racing around the league admin for sure.
There's someone you want to impress, it's him. Make sure you make him look good.
Well, if I could bum draft on here, I would, but I don't think it'll work.
Get up there, rattle his cage just a little bit. Let him know that that Ronnie Norman's behind him for me, will you? All right, have good luck, brother. Enjoy the rest of the race.
All right, thank you.
Ronnie Norman continuing to run back in the number 10 spot for the time being. It's a busy day coming on up for us here over the next little while here on Green Flag TV. Tomorrow night, it's the Bolt Racing League Lightning Series out from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And then a triple header on Saturday, the FTR Events Trophy.ai GT Endurance Series with a 6-hour endurance race at the band to kick off their season alongside SRA's season opener that evening at Daytona. And then VOR for the IndyCar Series out of the Magic Mile in the middle of the afternoon on Saturday. All that and more yet to come over the weekend here on Green Flag TV. But the green flag is back out and in the air as we are going to take off towards turn number 1.
Restart from a number of people. Here will be the problem of just trying to, again, get single filed out, find your groove. TJ Buck's actually having a reasonable night at the office. He's all the way up to 11th, so he's doing quite well. Jeremiah Vincent, another driver that's come from the rear end of the field after bad qualifying performance. He's plus 13 spots to 12th at the moment from 25th, so he's actually had a reasonable run.
Trouble, front straightaway, several cars around, including Ryan Shelton, Garrett Austin, and Jeffrey Johnson Jr. There's no caution so far, but Austin now has a black flag, and I'm willing to bet that might be for incident limit. And now it comes out.
Yeah. Garrett Austin's got a black flag as well. Yeah, that would be incident limit. He's been a lot tonight, unfortunately. Not a lot, some of it of his own making, not all of it.
Take a look. And this is what went down out of turn numbers 3 and 4. Well, that was just off the restart. It actually came about here.
Garrett Austin actually jumped on the mic and said, "Sorry guys, that's on me."
And Garrett lost it by himself.
It goes.
And Shelton and Johnson both left with nowhere to go as they go spinning into the infield.
Yep. But I thought that just says to you again just how low grip the surface is. You got to baby it nearly on the throttle. Coming off turn 4 sometimes it's tricky. It just goes like he's just trying to get back to the gas. I cannot tell you how often that happens at Richmond.
Few drivers down pit road, not too many though, mostly drivers that were kind of already having damage and just looking to get some of that damage repaired now. We'll take a look at the kind of how the championship standings have shaken up so far for the top 10, and well, Ronnie Norman still retains the points lead as it stands right now, but Justin Mello, though, despite saying how slow he is this race, he's looking set to improve up to the number 2 spot within 10 points of your current points leader.
Nothing changes massively at the moment. You're right, yeah, but Malolo's had a reasonably clean season thus far, including that race win to start us off back in Atlanta. So he's putting the work in. It's going in the right direction for him.
And of course,
but yeah, this is where it starts to get interesting as well. Is this you start to build through this mid-season, so to point yourself towards the end of the season.
And of course, it's not going to get much easier for these guys, right? I think you and I have talked about this schedule being far from an easy one. It's Daytona, the National Speedway next week for the Remax by Ryan Newman and Associates 200 at Daytona, the National Speedway. And then, well, the week after that, we kicked off our mid-season tournament. 3 races at Darlington, Bristol, and Kansas. And the first of those will be at the end of August. So quite a bit coming up, and boy, that's quite the situation to find yourself in, right? I mean, Daytona, what a place to be at after a short track of all places.
Yeah, tricky night, very, very tricky night. A lot of cautions here tonight.
Justin Mello saying he will miss Daytona, so Mello once again keeping us up to date with what's going on at the FTF.GG camp. Green flag is in the air.
Focus on the restarts as he's restarting from the outside pole as well. Settles it into turn 1. Now I'll try and get the car pointed down and away. I'm just seeing some little bits and pieces of marbles start to fly in that higher groove as well. So grip will start to come away from that higher line as more and more rubber gets off the tires and gets pushed up there.
Garrett Austin has yet to serve his black flag. He must serve it under green flag conditions. He has just now come down pit road, and he's hoping to be able to get that serve before the next yellow flag comes out on the racetrack.
Well, the thing is, he's on pit lane, so once you get to pit lane, you are serving your penalty, so he's okay.
I know shoot. Puts down the fastest lap of the race this time by as Phillips Scott gonna catch the wall there. Coming off of turn number 2.
Taking some risks in that outside lane, trying to get the pass down on Steven Gibson. How about Gibson, though? He's having one of his best races of the season thus far, trying to work his way forward. Scott got the job done, immediately moves to the bottom, and Montembeau. For me, Montembeau's been a risk taker tonight. He's been willing to drive the car aggressively, probably a little bit over its limits to try and move his way forward, but that's Richmond for you.
Jeffrey Reed's had a problem. This is out of turn 2 as you see him lose control on the back straightaway, go down, tag the inside wall, and get it back up and working. No caution, we'll keep it green.
Yeah, he'll keep it rolling. That battle though between Phil Scott and Matt Montembeau both got by Stephen Gibson, and now they're going to work on each other.
Yeah, the battle for the final podium spot of the afternoon is up for grabs with 31 laps coming to 30 to go this time by. Fast lap of the race. How about for Ryan Shelton all the way down to 22nd? Putting down the fast lap of the race so far.
He's mad. He's keen to get out there and go racing. He's going to need laps like those to come his way back through the field.
Eric Hudson not having too bad of a recovery drive himself. Remember, he self-spun out of 4th place, dropped out well outside of the top 25 some time ago. He is now up to 15th and is actually attacked Benazzi Major for 14th place, coming down to the turn number 3. So Eric Hudson could be looking to try to improve as well.
This is weird because, you know, Benazzi Major's being one of the quicker drivers in this series. He's just struggling tonight. He's just a way off. This is probably a lot further back than I would expect to be seeing him.
Tries to load back for the inside. Hudson shuts the door.
Yeah, Eric Hutton, remember, is going to be on fresher tires, about 12 lap fresher tires than everyone else. There will be some benefit to it, but the benefit will be minor. Probably a tenth and a half at most. This is one of the longer green flag runs we've had thus far tonight. Everyone's starting to figure it out. Still, though, just outside that top 10, look at how choked up it is. This is in and around Nick Colt on the outside lane in that 17 machine. He's got Hosea Vincent to his inside, Stan Hausman just behind him. And Gibson, we were talking about him. He was in that fight for the podium. He's now starting to fall back a lot. Oh, and by the way, Malello's on the full now. He's pulling the tires out, and commentators cursed.
Oh, and it's for Reed again. You saw him stop down low.
Might be done. That might be enough for him. Indeed, I think it might be.
Already slow, trying to nurse the car. Lost it again, identical. You can even see the tire tracks in the first spin. Locked it down and overcorrected. Back, left, right, left, and then into the inside wall. I again want to ask, why is there a caution for that one when there's a car well off the racetrack, but there's not one when you got 4 of them stopped in turn 2?
Yeah. Well, it's because the nose of it come back out on the racetrack, or the car was at an angle.
It was still below the yellow line, though.
I'm gonna hold my comments. You know, it's one of those. Look, what we've all got to remember at the end of the day is a computer doesn't understand what triggers a caution. You have to come up with logic to train that computer what triggers a caution. And the computer goes, yeah, but all these racetracks are different. And you got to tell it, well, what is a yellow line? Well, the yellow line is a bit of paint on a racetrack that is yellow. You literally have to tell it. You have to set and code into all these bits and pieces. That's a yellow line. Well, the computer goes, well, half the car was below the yellow line. I'm not going to throw the caution. You go, no, computer. That car was still partially on the racing circuit. It goes, well, there's no grass below the yellow line. I'm not going to throw the caution. Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. There is no grass down there. Then you go to some of the bigger racetracks and there's grass down in the front straightaway and the car's cutting through the grass. And iRacing looks and goes, well, that car is still pointed straight. I'm going to throw the caution. And you go, no, iRacing, please throw the caution for that. Please don't throw the caution. Sorry, please don't throw the caution for that. That car was straight. It's going to rejoin the race. It'll be totally fine. And iRacing goes, well, I'm damn well confused. I don't understand it. Yeah, that's how you code cautions. But there's complicated math. There is slip angles involved. There is cars coming involved, which has to be accounted for. If the last car in the field spins on his own at the back end of the field and there's no car coming, you don't want to throw a caution for that. He's not impacting anyone. So you've got to teach. What you've got to remember at the end of the day is this comes from my my software teacher in high school. Computers are not smart. We all went, you're crazy. And he went, no, listen to what I'm going to have to say. Computers are incredibly dumb. They only do exactly what you tell them to do and nothing else.
Story of my life trying to work with broadcast overlays.
Yeah, and it is the people who are coding them who are dumb sometimes. You go, well, I didn't tell you to do that. And then you look into the code and you go, well, you know what? Actually, I did tell you to do that. So that is exactly how coding works. The computer does exactly what you tell it to do. And it only does what you tell it to do.
I've heard someone
it cannot think for itself.
Well, I've heard someone describe coding, right? It's like coding is 10% actually doing the coding and 90% figuring out why it isn't doing what you're telling it to do.
And the worst part is our recognition skills as humans as well. We'll scroll through it and we'll be like, we're looking for a 1, we're looking for a 1, we're looking for a 1, and you skip over the line where you give it a 0.
Yeah. Free fly back in the air, Ionoshu jumps away to turn number 1. Now the field double file from behind. Second on back, Amber trying to go around the outside of Philip Scott. Also got the 98 of, or the 20 of Montemo up top above Justin Mello. 21 laps to go, and this field continued to hunt more and more.
I mean, look at how gummed up they are at the front at this point in time. Montembeau's going to try and go around the outside. Malolo slides it out of 2. Now he's going to start the full 3 spots. He might say it's slow. That was a mistake. That was just a raw mistake. Picked up the gas. Low grip on the bottom side as you come out of 2. A little mistake. Goes sliding down through the field. There's all those spots that he gained through strategy.
3 wide through turn numbers 1 and 2. Mello, good. Oh, contact, and no! Norman put into the fence. Trouble behind as a completely separate incident. Lemon and Buck spin down to the inside. Caution comes out with 20 to go. That started with Vincent pushing Mello into Ron Norman. I think the guys behind just checked up, trying to avoid.
Oh boy, that was frantic. We still got 20 laps to go.
Yes, we do. Boy. Getting a little bit more dicey here as time moves along.
Well, you would have seen this every single time you go car racing or you get interested in car racing, you watch it. This is where it starts to, we thought it was already starting to ramp up. It's going to get more and more and more important. And what happens is that triggers more and more and more cautious. Is that the second time TJ Box got into a car, turned them around this evening? I didn't rotate him there, actually. Not too bad. But that's the second time TJ, yeah, there he goes on exit.
And then Buck got right into him again. I think he actually may have been held from behind himself.
Yeah.
And all of this kind of started with up the road as you saw Ronnie Norman getting punted into the outside wall. This is going to be from the air. Watch right there. He's going to go around and then behind. I don't know. I mean, it happens so close together, right? I mean, I think those may have just been 2 completely separate incidents.
Tricky one, trying to read it. But yeah, we're now on to 20 to go. So what happens is when you got 50 laps to go, you got 50 laps worth of opportunities to try and get the passes done. You might be thinking a little bit more about tires. You get down to 30 laps to go. Well, I don't necessarily need to think about my tires anywhere near as much. Again, I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive. Get down to 20 laps to go. I just got to pull the trigger. If any opportunity opens up, I have to take it because there will not be another one. It may take you 5 laps to get that pass complete. Well, if you take that, we've only got 3 opportunities to complete passes left in this race. Which means it may be a bad opportunity, it may not be a great one, but the other thing is, when you're attempting to get aggressive, it says to the guys behind you, hey, I am trying to gain spots, and they go, oh, he's being aggressive. Sweet. Well, I can try and follow him through. But if you're being passive, and that guy goes, well, he's backing up the corner and he's not driving aggressively. I might try and get to this inside. A lot of little psychological things that change when you get close to the end of the race.
Well, the field going to work their way, coming back up and around into turn numbers 3 and 4 this time by, and still with a long, long way to go. And here we go, coming back around, turn numbers 3 and 4, green fly back in the air.
Good restart from a number of the drivers. Top 5 got single filed out, and a little mistake for the full machine means that Nick Coke got to the inside of him.
Battling up and around into turn numbers 3 and 4 to the front straightaway. Vincent still to the outside of Cote. Montembeau wanted to also pull clear. He is able to do so. A few cars, 3, 4, 5, 6 total getting to the outside wall to turn 2. That time by just a train going in. Now Hausman gonna put Jeremiah Vincent into the wall.
And Hosea Vincent got the front stretch wall as well. He's going to lose the spot now to Nick Cote. Gets himself inside the top 5.
Fighting back.
Montembeau's worthwhile keeping an eye on as well.
Yeah, fighting back to the front straightaway here as everyone trying to battle out with one another now to the front straightaway. Under 15 laps to go. Looking for it, double file through 1 and 2, and how about Eric Hudson back into a top 10?
You're kidding, right? You've got to be kidding me. He's driven his way back up there. Norman's starting to lose spots as his tires are going. Caution's out.
Jeffrey Johnson, black flag.
I just watched Ryan Shelton, after the caution flag got displayed, nearly lose the rear end of the car. Nearly lost it coming off for turn 4.
This is what happened to Jeffrey Reed as he's going to just lose control by himself. Third time he's done that tonight, hard into the inside wall. This time he has taken a toe to pit road, and then this was Shelton. Caution going to be coming out right around here is where the yellow's going to come out. Yeah, he did kick that tail end out, didn't he? Oh, and Jeffrey Johnson Jr. also going around. And that actually might have been what brought the yellow out. Yeah, that was. I don't think Jeffrey Reed's crash had anything to do with it. Well, Cosman Inoshu continues to lead the way here at the head of the field. We'll once again take a jump back and be back with the final laps from Richmond in just a moment. Welcome back to Green Flight TV. Cosman Inoshu leads the way from Philip Scott and Montembeau back on row number 2. It'll be 7 laps the distance when we retake the green flag for the Aggasiz Speedway Volunteers 140 here at Richmond.
8 to go. It's going to be 7 to go when we get back to the start-finish line. We are running out of time. Everything gets amped up. Here we go.
Free flag back in the air. Not a good launch from Ethan Amberg. Philip Scott going to try to get him up around the outside line. Meanwhile, Nicholas Cote, Matt Montembeau, double file through turn numbers 1 and 2 to the back straightaway. Another caution puts this race dangerously close to overtime territory here. And they're still too wide off of 4.
Here we go. Who's going to go for a big old lunge late on in this one? I know she's got a heap of headway out the front. He looks set. He's only going to hang on to it. Now they're banging panels for P2. Phil Scott leaned on Amberg. Montembeau gets an opportunity to try and get right to the rear bumper. Across the line, 5 to go from Richmond.
5.
Oh, contact!
5 laps the distance here as the field continues to scrap it out. Oh, Stan Hausman, wicked sideways coming around through turn number 2. Able to gather it up as they make their way back around to the front straightaway, this time by continuing to hold on still as we're still too wide. Shelton blocking Gibson, and Shelton's been taken out for the lead. Gonna wipe out Vincent hard into the outside wall. Back into the Nazi Major. Hausman's collected a big crash, one of the biggest of the night in turn number 2, and they're still getting dinged up in here, and Jeremiah Vincent just not showing much regard to the field here as he is, oh my goodness, this is not pretty. Pace car comes out, that's going to be the yellow flag as it falls apart in turn 1.
Boy.
Gibson tried to go for the move. Shelton blocked. Gibson wasn't having it, ran through him. Jeremiah Vincent, the innocent bystander, as he takes a vicious shot to the wall.
Keep your eyes. What we actually need to do on this one is actually rewind it all the way through and have a look at the car that was ahead of Gibson in that inside lane. Because I went back and had another look at it. And what it looks like is that Gibson just gets blocked. But what happened was actually a car 2 down the road, and it was one of the Vincents, gets loose off a 4. So the car directly ahead of Gibson has to check up. So keep your eye on the 8. Comes out. Gets a wiggle on. He actually has to come out of the gas just a little bit. That forces a little bit of a checkup, and Gibson's got to run all at the same time, which is why we ended up in that situation. So whilst it looks like Gibson just gets blocked, there's a reason for it. The car ahead of him had to crack the throttle slightly, which gives him a little bit more of a run. It's all just timing. That is just hard racing at the end of a Richmond race where everything's starting to accelerate. And that is all that is.
And then Jeremiah Vincent, after the caution had already come out, of course, rather than hold the brakes, he just simply backed up across the racetrack and caused the Arabian Cape to get some damage, then drove across the middle of Mello, causing him to get damage, and then completely spun out someone else. Oh my goodness, that is a lick into the wall. I mean, that's major also takes a pretty hefty whack, but then it's going to drift down.
Brake.
Yeah, no brake.
There's no brakes on the car at all.
And then watch this. Drives up in front of Mello into McFadden,
2.
and then comes up again, and he's just going to take out the number 80. I mean, this is... He would have taken out the 19 too if he had it checked up. I mean, what are you doing? So I get being upset at the wreck, right? But I mean, these guys didn't do anything to you. Come on.
I mean, he's mad. So the reason he's lost his head a bit there is he's very mad. Very, very mad. Because his race has been, he made a mistake off of 4, and is he the trigger of the caution? No, absolutely not. He's not the trigger of the caution, but he is one of the factors in the run that gets built by Gibson. Gibson gets aggressive. It's late in the race. He's got to go for his prospects in that situation. He gets wrecked and involved in. But you hold your brakes. You not holding your brakes basically says to the rest of the field, I do not care about you. I am only here for me, and my night is done. I'm taking you with me. It is not what he's saying, but that is how it gets read by everyone else. It is like lack of respect for everyone else that is out there on the racetrack.
2 laps to go. Green flag is back in the air. Overtime attempt number 1 as Inoshu drives away into turn numbers 1 and 2. This time by looking for the white flag coming up around.
So are they going to get back to the white? We got the green-white checker, which we thought might have been coming. We did get it, but they're only going to need 1 overtime finish from Richmond, and Inoshu is the guy that's in control right now.
Down in the turn numbers 1 and 2. Does Philip Scott have an answer for him coming up and around? Will he put the bumper to number 24? He got loose in turn number 2. He might not get there. He won't. Close with Inoshu out of turn 4, and a 2-5 Camry to victory lane at the action track.
He will be celebrating that one Great drive. He's felt that he's wanted to do a lot more for the sponsors, really put them up there. He's very proud of the Tiltify Camry. He finally gets it done yet again. Malello had a great race going too, and he's going to the rear of the field.
Mello having to kind of finish this one off quietly as he goes for a spin. Coming out of turn numbers 3 and 4 was 3 wide with Buck and Garrett Austin, and then as they work their way through 3 and 4, just gets a bit too throttle happy, kicks the tail end out. He's going to lose a couple spots and clip Arabia Caton as he comes across the line.
Not important as you think. My favorite comment though comes from Nazi Major. Great win. Be careful climbing out of the car.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that is Connor Zilic is never going to live that one. That is going to follow him for the rest of his days as a race car driver.
Not. I'm glad he's okay, but yeah, he's never going to live that down, is he? Burning it down here for Cosmin Ayanoshu, a happy camper indeed here at the end of the night. Had to work for this one, but by far the dominant car today.
Yeah, did a great job. Led so many laps. The biggest thing was that we were all sitting here going, he's got to pit at some point in time. He got lucky. The point where he pit, everybody else also came to the pit lane. He didn't have to fight a squabble for his track position. He had Malello ahead of him. Malello played a strategy card. He made that mistake on pit lane. He got really, really lucky tonight, Cosmin. Ran a great race, but he made one crucial error, and it was so close to costing him everything.
Ayanoshu in his Speed Cup Series career has only finished outside of the top 10 twice, outside of the top 5 times. It's almost shocking with stats like that when you have an 89% top 10 rate, that this is only his first win in his Speed Cup Series career, especially with a 3/4 top 5 rate. That is a nearly unheard of stat. It kind of shows just how much he's just been caught in the bad end of things like strategy, and a great job for him tonight.
Yeah, really, really good job.
Well, we'll take
and it's been coming too. I think the big thing is when you look at Cosmin Ayanoshu's speed, those stats, they don't lie. You can tell the speed's been coming to him. It's just been a matter of when he gets the circumstances right and when he's in the right position. You put it all together tonight.
Well, we'll start off the Bow Ties post-race show with your official race results here at the end of the night, and it's going to be Cosmin Ayanoshu finally taking his first race win of his Speed Cup Series career. It's Philip Scott coming home number 2, Ethan Amberg in 3rd, Matt Montembeau in 4th, Nicholas Code in 5th, and it's Josiah Vincent, Stephen Gibson, Eric Hudson, Zach Hinson, and Martin Plouffe for the top 10.
Side the top 10 over to 11th, Ronnie Norman, championship leader. Doesn't get inside the top 10. Joey Barrett, Nate Cotillo. Good to see Nate back up there after a troublesome week from Watkins Glen. Rory Hutchinson, Tim Branson, Stacey Hunter. Lots of incidents for both Honda and Garrett Austin here tonight. TJ Buck was using the chrome horn multitude of times throughout the race. Malello home in 19th, Arabia Caton in 3rd, inside the 20.
From there, 21st place, it's Jason Shue with Hausman, Leonard, McFadden, and Shelton. The last cars finishing this race on the lead lap. Vincent and Johnson Jr. finished 1 lap down. Major was 5 down. Wheeler 6, and Wayne Newman was 11.
And then final 6 drivers. These are all retirements. Jeffrey Reed, 19 laps from home. Doug Millen, 52. Charles Simmer, 60. Kyle Holden pulled it over and parked it, 98 from home with Caleb Bass. And Wesley Dunphy, first retirement on lap number 1.
Well, we'll take a rundown of your official post-race results here. Well, not your first official post-race results. We just took a look at those. We'll jump down and give a chit-chat here to the 3 drivers that finished this race on the podium. We'll look to kick things off first and foremost with Cosmin Ayanoshu. Cosmin, this one has been a long time coming. Only 5 races where you have finished outside of the top 5. Many podiums in the midst of that, and yet somehow this is still your first time on the Speed Cup Series podium. How does it feel? Or the top step, sorry.
There you go. I was going to say, I think I finished second a lot here. Man, it feels good to finally get it out of the way and stop saying, oh, you're not going to win. So, you know, that's good. I've enjoyed that. Just, I wish we had a bit less yellows, honestly. I think long run pace would have been okay. And it drove pretty cool, the car. I mean, it was I don't know. I don't know what to say. I didn't really have much traffic, so I can't really say what it would be like if people were ahead of me.
Well, you were by far the dominant car today. Restarts, you had that thing absolutely dialed in. Talk us through the restart game here this afternoon, and especially when you had a bit of a close call on pit road, losing that race lead, that was looking a bit worrisome for a moment.
Man, dude, this game, I'm telling you, I just hit reverse and it immediately started servicing the car. I didn't even back the car up. It just immediately serviced it as soon as I hit reverse. I don't know what that is, but that's a glitch that's been happening a long time now. And I almost choked the lead away with like 3 to go. Luckily the caution came out. I heard Justin scream something in the Discord channel, and I was like, oh, the caution's gonna come out. I gotta floor it, otherwise I'm losing this lead. And yeah, that really saved my butt. Philip was right there. That was the photo finish that we needed.
Well, we look forward to the races coming on up, and you go from one extreme to another, right? I mean, the action tracks straight through to the World Center of Racing at Daytona. The first Super Speedway race of the season as well since Atlanta. What's going to be the game plan as we swing out to the home of the Daytona 500?
Well, I'm going to have my friend Justin with me, and we are going to be we're going to make it a show. We're gonna try to get one of the cars to win, either me or him, because it's Daytona.
I don't know if Justin's going to be here next week, but if he
Oh
is...
no, he's not. You're right.
Well, what's the
Okay,
plan
well, I
now?
don't know
You don't know?
Man, I don't know. Don't die.
Well,
Try to salvage points. Honestly, I've missed 2 or 3 races. Yeah, 2 races I think I've missed. So the goal is to just keep collecting those points. And today was perfect for that. No incidents, led most laps, all that. So I don't know if those are points for those things, but they count in my book.
Well, we wish you the best of luck when we go racing once again. Congratulations on taking home #1 for the first time, finally, in your Speed Cup Series career. We'll hopefully see you again when we go racing next week.
Hey, there should only have been another win. Like, the only one that I feel like should have happened was Indy this season. I don't think I had the pace for any other race, honestly. Like, the other races, I was just, like, I always choked in long run, so. This was just the second one, I'll say.
Well, it's still #1 nonetheless, as I know she comes home first here this afternoon. Scott, we're going to move on down to Philip Scott, the driver of the Obstacle Factory 00. You're standing by with #2.
Well, that was a tricky one because at no point in that one were you feeling and looking like that you were right up there and in contention until that sort of last run. Was it just struggles with the car early on? I mean, you qualified out in 7th place. It was a little bit way down the field, but you just seemed like as the night went on, you found something.
Yeah, so obviously after last week was kind of disappointing, obviously wrecking on lap 1 at the Glen, which is one of my favorite tracks, so but thankfully I didn't get too bit out of a hit with the points, so I just wanted to have a good finish today, so I was just really trying not to fight too much early on, and but I was a little bit like, I wasn't really feeling it early on, and then I decided to offset and pit, and it actually worked pretty good. And I was like following Ethan through the field, and we got up to like the top 5. He's got up to like 2nd. I got up to like 4th when a yellow came out, and then once you're up near the front, then your confidence gets a little better. And yeah, it was. So after that, I just knew also from that long run where I had to make a bunch of passes, I was like having a lot of brake issues, because it's tough to pass here, and so the only way, like, so especially if somebody's on the outside, so I had to like brake really hard, and so I was like locking up and almost wheel hopping a lot, so I had to readjust how I was driving for the later on, and yeah, I got by Ethan on one of the restarts, and so I knew on the outside was going to be tough to hang, so I just was hoping for Cosman to make a little mistake or something, and he did, but but the yellow came out right as it happened, and so it was kind of like I got the one caution at Indianapolis a couple weeks ago that I was the benefactor of. This time I was on the other side of the coin. So yeah, but it was a lot of fun racing up with the fast guys up there as usual.
A little bit about just that pack of guys, because at the moment it looks like we've got like 5, 6, 7, 8 guys that can win a race on any given week. But I think the big thing that we're seeing from that group of guys is the level of respect that gets shown as well. No one's really using the bumper. No one's really trying to put contact to anyone. Everyone's just going out and going, okay, I'm gonna run the best race that I possibly can. Get a little bit lucky. Sweet, we win this week. Next week, nah, I got a little bit unlucky. Oh, I'm 4th. How cool is it having the sense of trust and confidence in the guys that are around you?
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like even when there's like a little mistake, like Justin last week had the littlest bit of bumper contact and going into the bus stop, and I was out. But that happens. But I knew for a fact it wasn't like anything stupid he did or anything like that. It was just one of those minor mistakes, because I've raced hard with him. I've raced hard with everybody like up in the top 10, and so yeah, it's just a lot of fun being able to dice back and forth. Like I remember at Iowa, that was a blast, even though I remember there was one at a late restart I almost wrecked, but it was still just so fun racing with those guys, and I was not disappointed at all. I got like 6th or something. But yeah, exactly like you said though, it's any given race, it's anyone of like the top 10 guys or so, and I'm glad to be part of that.
I just want to say a big shout out to you, because I know, and this goes to everyone that's in that top 5 group. It is so difficult to find yourself a group of respectful people, whereby, and at the end of the day, I think I heard you on the radio at one point tonight say, oh, I locked my brakes up. I got into you. I'm so sorry, man. That was not my intention. It comes as a bit and piece of sportsmanship and whatnot, but the racing is the benefactor of that. When you got guys that you're around and you go, I made a mistake this week, I put my bumper to you, that was not intentional, please accept, I'm going to cut you a break in the near future. That is a part of racing at this level. We are not professionals by any stretch of the imagination. We are amateurs, and with that comes mistakes, and I think it's expectation management of that group is so important.
Yeah, that's absolutely for sure. Like, there's other leagues I've been in and stuff where like I do like the temper get the best of me, because it's not always the best group of drivers like to race around. But like, because I like racing hard, but it's like kind of that give and take. I feel like more of like a Mark Martin type driver a lot of the time. But yeah, this group specifically, especially up near the front, where I'm happy I'm fast. Like I'm happy I'm up near the front most of the time, fast enough to be up there. And yeah, like you said, it's a lot of fun to be able to battle with them and just have that respect with all those guys.
Well, mate, congratulations on taking P2 tonight. Who would you like to give a thank you to?
Oh yeah, obviously shout out to Cosman for first obviously winning the race, but also he came in clutch, made an awesome new paint for me. I'm a graphic designer, but I'm not really a paint maker, so I was like, actually I should ring up Cosman and see if he can make me spice up my car a little bit, and it turned out really awesome. So thanks to Cosman.
Congratulations on running P2 here tonight. Really appreciate the chat with us as well, Phil. That's a lot of points I've been struggling to put into words myself of late, and it was just good to hear you talk about it.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And finally, Nolan is standing by with tonight's 3rd place finisher, driving the 9, Ethan Amberg.
Amber comes home number 3 this afternoon. Ethan, it's a solid podium. You were kind of up near the front all day long. Started in 2nd, but it just didn't seem like restarts were going your way tonight.
Definitely not. The Ghost Sim Racing Highline Diecast Collectibles I Create Mustang was super quick. The restarts were just super tough, especially from the outside of the front row. We don't run the restart zone over here. So the leader got a really big advantage being able to just grab second gear and floor it on the restart, and made it really hard to react in time, and I just struggled on the outside getting any form of forward momentum going and timing it right. So that's something I personally have to work on. I feel like I struggle with restarts, especially from the front row, fairly often. So something I'm going to note to keep working on for the rest of the season, but overall the car was really good, and if we got some long runs there, results may have been a little bit different, but it was a good time.
Well, you walk it off with a good podium position, so still a lot of very, very good points on the line here for you. Do you reckon it gives you a pretty good buffer going into Daytona here?
I'm hoping so. Daytona is always just an absolute wrench in the works. You never quite know what to expect. That's true for any super speedway. So look forward to it being a good time. Get some green flag running with everybody in the pack, and we'll see how it goes, but I'm looking forward to it. There's no reason to be afraid of a race coming up.
All right, well, it's looking to be a solid drive for you here this afternoon. A very good podium position, and hey, anything can happen at Daytona. We'll see if you can survive the melee and come out the other side of it.
You know it. Thank you very much, Nolan. Thank you, Scott.
Amber comes home number 3 this afternoon, and well, Scott, that's going to do it for our post-race interviews here this afternoon, as well as for the bow ties post-race show. One that needs to wear a bow tie, no strapping. Just slide it over the top button of your shirt and go. Great for all ages. Get yours today at bowties.org. So all of this comes around to the end of what was a chaotic race here at the action track. It so often is, right? It got its name for a reason, for goodness sakes. The championship standings, still Ronnie Norman up on top, and that gap is only looking to extend.
Yeah, and Malolo was there, and he was really, really close to him in terms of the points, and then the back end of the race happened, unfortunately, for him. So, yeah, look, Ronnie Norman's had a rough night tonight, finishes outside the 10, but still manages to hang on to that championship lead. I think that's going to be a crucial one when we get down to the nitty-gritty at the back end of this championship. I've got to be honest, Nolan, that was a tough race, not only to survive, but to move forward, and he cut his way through the field. Very, very important.
Well, we'll see how things are going to pan on out when we go racing next time out. But before we get to all of that, there's still more action still to come here on Green Flag TV. When we return to racing action here, it'll be for tomorrow night at the Bolt Racing League with the Lightning Series. That'll be at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. From there, for the the FTR Endurance Series heads out to the Bend for their 6-hour endurance race alongside the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Series for the second race at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. SRA will also be at Daytona that same night, and from there, a triple header as well on Sunday, with the Classic IndyCar Series back from the summer break at Kentucky, followed by the Blaze Battles ARCA Series at Milwaukee Mile, and the For the Boys Racing League out at the Michigan International Speedway over in the evening. If you want to find out more about who we are and what we can offer you, check us out today at www.greenflagtv.com. Once again, I've been Ola Rambo for you all of racing action tonight alongside Scott Rankin. We'll see you all when we go racing next time over in Daytona.